This presentation is about the return of complimentary services on board domestic U.S. flights. Many people will approach me and ask me if I'm of the opinion whether or not complimentary food services are going to be returned to the same level as they were on domestic U.S. flights before 9/11. This presentation will explain my answer. Prior to 2000, the complimentary services on board aircraft included full meals, non-alcoholic beverages, especially in first class, and checked baggage being complimentary, free of charge. Blankets, pillows, snacks, movies are all examples of complimentary services that were offered prior to 9/11. Since that time, most airlines now charge for these formerly complimentary services. Most airlines don't even offer full meal services. Many will charge for what they call buy on board food services. Snacks oftentimes will be charged commodities on board the aircraft. Water and soft drinks on some aircraft or some carriers are now charging for these items. In other airlines, full meals have been eliminated altogether, especially on short or medium length flights. Blankets, pillows are no longer found on board many domestic airlines. Snacks on shorter flights are a thing of the past. And movies, unless you're on a transcontinental flight, are nowhere to be found. Obviously, the trend is that carriers that charge low fares and offer meager services are remaining profitable during this tight inflationary time. The former legacy carriers that charge higher fares and offer various services complimentary are not profitable. Examples of these are Delta, American Airlines, Northwest. Many of these airlines have entered into Chapter 11, Chapter 7 bankruptcy proceedings over the last several years. The result is that most airlines are trying to become like the low-cost carriers, such as Southwest Airlines, JetBlue, Spirit Airlines. These LCCs, as they're known as for low-cost carriers, are profitable, but they offer very meager services on board the aircraft. However, as airlines become more like these low-cost carriers, the differentiation that existed between them starts to vanish. The reason that people would fly United over American no longer exists. The reason that people would fly on Horizon Air over Mesa is no longer there, because all these airlines are trying to become the same low-cost carrier, trying to please the masses. One thing we need to keep in mind is the evolution trend in industry. Typically, the trend is something similar to what we can see in the retail industry, where it starts out as a small store trying to educate the customer of what they need. Then, once it is determined that customers want the service, then you have department stores which try to offer multiple items to customers. This lends way to shopping malls, where people are trying to be all things to all people. But as we have seen in the past in this retail industry, now the birth is being given to the boutique shops, where people are getting away from the shopping malls and going towards the specialty shops, which are catering to their individual needs. We will see the same evolution in the airline industry. Initially, back in the 50s and 60s, airline travel was primarily luxury travel. Then it gave way to business travel, because people were making buying decisions, spending other people's money or corporate funds to travel. Now, with the low-cost carriers and all the other airlines trying to emulate with their success, essentially they're appealing to the masses. Fly everyone, everywhere. What we will see is airlines wanting to get away from this commoditization of their product and become more boutique carriers. What this entails is the airlines have to find their niche. An airline niche can be demographic travel, leisure, business, luxury, identifying which one of these items that they want to cater to. Then geographical markets, Northeast, West Coast, Florida, Caribbean, maybe even nationwide. However, it has to be unique. Another airline niche is behavioral psychographic service, offering, as we see in European airlines, sleeping pods, full meal services, cashmere blankets, and some other luxury items which appeal to a small group of passengers. The conclusion is that airlines need to differentiate themselves from their competition. Airlines will identify what their unique niche is and exploit that, go after it, and cater to those passengers. At least one carrier will emulate the European success with enhanced amenities and will offer these complementary services that we did see pre 9/11.